Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Harden on everything the clutch, and talking about my last video, talking about Russell Westbrook re-signed with the LA Clippers. I did mention briefly about James Harden, and the reason why I did was because James Harden is rumored to be traded to the Clippers if he decides to leave them instead of staying with the 76ers, because when he opted into his contract, the report saying that this is his last game as a 76er, but now there's like speculation that he might stay or he might get traded, and if he were to get traded, the Clippers are the heavy favorites. And I just have a little bit of a question for James Harden. I mean, James Harden, he's been going to many different situations, and every single time there's a bit of adversity or something doesn't work out, he immediately requests out. When he was in Houston, when he was the man, he had Dwight Howard when he was still really good. He had Chris Paul that led them to the conference finals against the Warriors, and then also he played with Russell Westbrook, his old friend, and that didn't work out for none of them, and so he decided he wanted to leave, so he went to Brooklyn, where he played with both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But even then, that was still not enough. I mean, some of it obviously was not his fault. There was a lot of management issues and issues with staying on the court between all three of them, and then Kyrie Irving not playing all the games, not being committed to the team. So that's understandable in that aspect. So then he wants to get out of Brooklyn. Then he goes to the 76ers. He plays with Joel Embiid, who at the time especially, he is arguably one of, if not the best center in the whole league. Now the title has officially gone to Jokic, especially after winning the title this year. But anyway, and James Harden, now that he sacrificed some money on the table so he can be able to help the team surround more pieces around him, and that didn't work out. They fell apart against Boston in the second round, and now all of a sudden James Harden wants to leave again. So, but James Harden needs to take some accountability on his end as well, because although his playoff numbers are 20.3 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 8.3 assists per game, 39.3% from overall field goals, and 37.8% from three. On paper, those numbers sound fine, not bad at all. But you got to remember, at a crucial game, when the Sixers needed him the most, he only scored 9 points in an elimination game. And the Sixers, they did have a lead at one point in the series against Boston, but they just fell apart. They just choked away. And then James Harden, he has a history of falling short in the playoffs. So I do believe that at some point he has to realize that that's on him, and he needs to make changes and get himself in better shape or conditioning for the season, so he can be able to be fully ready to go and not exhaust himself or not fall apart during the playoffs. And one of the issues is that his playing style for most of his career is that he'll dominate for all regular season. He'll put up amazing numbers, Kobe Bryant numbers from his prime, and to be able to just by the time the playoffs arrive, he's all tired and exhausted because he put all his energy and focus in the regular season. Not to say the regular season doesn't mean anything, but he needs to at some point save himself so that he can be able to perform when his team needs it the most, so they can advance to the next round or even get to the finals. And James Harden, I do believe he does leave some things on the table, because yes, I understand what I'm about to say. I know he's a grown man, he can make his own decisions. I get that. But sometimes to make sacrifices to do great things, you need to make sacrifices, is what I meant to say. So forgive me on that mistake. But anyway, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they sacrifice a lot, just to get to where they are, so they can win their multiple championships, win multiple MVPs, do bigger things, or even had to, defer some things for the team. He had to trust on his teammates. And James Harden, he is known for, partying a lot during the off season, and he has, especially when he wants to complain, he does get himself out of shape. He doesn't perform at his best. He doesn't try on defense. That was the narrative for most of his career, especially. And my challenge to him, if he wants to win a championship, especially with his career winding down, is just one season. You don't have to go to the Clippers. You don't need to go to the Celtics. You don't need to go to the Heat. You don't need to go to the Bucks. You don't need to do any of that. You can stay on the Sixers. The Sixers have a strong enough roster. They can make some tweaks. They can find trades for, whether get rid of Tobias Harris's contract or go all in with Tyrese Maxey as the third option, or bring in somebody over from free agency or make other trades. The Sixers have the ability to do so, to actually compete for a championship. They can hang with Boston because it took them 7 games. They just fell short. They didn't get the job done. What James Harden needs to do is just one season with the Sixers. Just sacrifice the partying, the glitz and the glamour, and just focus on the game. Lock himself in. That this, just go all in for 1 year. No outside distractions. Focus on the game of basketball. Try to stay healthy. Get himself in the best shape possible. Make it work with Joel Embiid. And I do believe the Sixers can legit be title threats. They can make it to the finals and possibly win if everybody works cohesively and is focused and everybody stays healthy. And if James Harden, if he saves his energy, if he's willing to sacrifice his stats, during the regular season, so he's fully ready to go, he's not tired and exhausted in the playoffs, that can shut down the narrative that, oh, James Harden's a choker, he'll fall short when the lights are bright and all that stuff. He can shut that down and he can get a ring and he can cement himself as a top 5 greatest shooting guard of all time. Because obviously the 3 are reserved for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade in that order. So if Harden wins a ring, he'll definitely be 4th, all time. So anyway, that's what I do believe that James Harden should do. Just focus all in on basketball, just for 1 season. No partying, no distractions, no clubs, no drinking, just focus all in on the game. That's what happened to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, he made a lot of sacrifices, and look where he's at now. Well, rest in peace, during his playing days, as a 5-time champion. And there was a narrative on him that he couldn't win without Shaq for most of his career. But Kobe Bryant, around that same time frame as James Harden at that point in their career, he won 2 more championships. So if Kobe Bryant can do it, nothing against him, but using him as an example, James Harden can definitely do it as well. James Harden's one of the most talented players of all time. He has an amazing step back game. He's a great leader in my opinion. So he just needs to just step up, just even if it's for 1 year. That's all I ask. He doesn't need to go to the Clippers. He has a great situation with the Sixers. He doesn't need to run away from, another situation. He's got the pieces set. He just needs to execute. So that's what I would say. So anyway, thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe. God bless you all. Have a great day.